Hi there students, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Nahid. I am a professional teacher. I've been teaching for more than 6 years now. And if you are new to my channel, you should know that I put up videos for SE.B.A students exclusively on the subjects of English and social science. So here is the good news. SE.B.A has finally revised the syllabus of class 9 and 10 due to the COVID-19 situation. In this video, I shall show you the new syllabus of class 9 and 10 for the subject English and social science. So let's get started. So let's look at the class 10 English revised syllabus here. What changes have they made? As you can see here, it's written clearly on top that revised course content only for HSLC examination 2021, so this will not be valid in 2022. This is only for this year because of the ongoing COVID-19 situation. As you can see, it's class 10 theory 90 marks you have, and for internal you have 10 marks, and etc. For pass mark you need 30, but in the theory examination you need in the written examination you need 27 to pass. Okay, let's look at the lesson and the units that we have here. In the units, first thing first, you would have comprehension. One would be from your textbook and the other would be unseen from somewhere, and each of these comprehensions will carry you 5 marks, followed by like 3 questions maybe of 1 mark or 2 marks out there. In the writing section you have translation, either translation or substance writing, which will be of 5 marks, and then you have essay or story writing. You either go for the essay or for the story writing. And then you have letter writing or report writing. So you can either go for letter writing or the report writing. The marking pattern has been given here as 6, 6 and 5. So for letter you have 5 marks, and for translation or substance you have 6, and for essay and story you have 6, which is on the right hand side you can see it totals as 17. Now in under C section you can see all the grammar portion of class 9. So for that you need to check out when I discuss what other grammar portions are there in class 9. Besides that, you have determiners, tenses, which means English tenses. You have voice change from active to passive, passive to active. You have narration from direct to indirect, indirect to direct. Both you have to do. For class 9 it's different. Then you have preposition, all the basic preposition and the advanced prepositions you should know, and you should memorize a couple of hundred of those. Then you have vocabulary, you have synthesis of sentences, which means joining sentences. You have verbal phrases, which you kind of have to memorize, maybe 200 of them. You have sentence correction that you would have here, and on top of that you would have clauses and models, etc. is given, which means you need to learn a thing or two. So stay on to my channel and I'll tell you what other things you need to be covering. This year the question paper might be a little tougher. Okay, let's look at the quickly go to the Prose section. We have A Letter to God, we have Nelson Mandela, and we have Glimpses of India. From Glimpses of India we have Tea from Assam. Earlier we had Kurg and other chapters included in here. All these chapters are not there, they have been eliminated. In the poetry section you can see you have only 3 poems right now. You have Tiger in the Zoo, Tale of Custard the Dragon, and Animals. Earlier you had Fog, you have Amanda, so many other poems were there. All these things, all these poems have been taken down. So in the prose section you can see the marking pattern has been given for the chapters. It's 10, 11, and for the poetry section, as you can see here, it's 12. Now let's come to the supplementary reader. In the supplementary reader, earlier you had 4 chapters, now you have 2 chapters. That is, the first one is Midnight Visitor and the second one is Footprints Without Feet. The crazy part is this, in the CBSE course content they have eradicated Midnight Visitor, but for your case, Midnight Visitor is there and Footprint Without Feet. So instead of having 4 chapters, now you have only 2 chapters. With that we just finish our course content, and then for internal assessment you have 10 marks. It depends on how your school is going to do that with you. Now we will look at the social science content of class 10, so be with me. Alright, hi again. You can see here revised course content only for HSLC. Again, the same thing for 2021. As I said, it won't be valid for 2022. This is social science class 10. As you can see, everything around here, it's all same. You have 10 marks for your internal assessments. Okay, let's quickly go to the units that we have. In chapter 1 you have these units that you need to cover, and for chapter 1, that is partition of Bengal and Swadeshi movement. I don't think I've made videos on that, but soon I'll put up. You have 6 marks out there, so you have to read partition of Bengal, that's 1 point. Then you need to know how Swadeshi movement began. Then you need to know consequences of Swadeshi movement, what happens because of that, and after that you need to know Swadeshi movement and National Congress, how they were connected and how Swadeshi movement helped in building the National Congress. Then you have anti-movement actions of the government and the contribution of Swadeshi movement. After that, we have a couple of other topics which have been eliminated, so you don't have to worry about that. In chapter 2, as you can see here, that's Rise of Gandhi. I've done videos on that, you can check out on my channel. You have mark distribution, that is just 7 here. You have to read about Rise of Gandhi, which I've covered. You have to read Rowlatt Act, I've covered that. Satyagraha, non-violence movement. You have Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement. End of non-cooperation movement means how non-cooperation began and how it ended. Then you have Simon Commission, Civil Disobedience Movement, Gandhi-Arvind Pact, Second Roundtable Conference, and then restarting of Civil Disobedience Movement, Quit India Movement, Indian National Army, Declaration of June 3rd, 1947, Indian Independence Acts of 1947, Birth of Independent India. All these topics I have covered, and you can go to my playlist and kind of check out if you're new to the channel and if you're watching it for the first time. Now let's look at the other portions that we have here. For chapter 3, you have anti-British rising and peasant revolts in Assam. As you can see, we have just 3 topics to cover in the chapter, so you can take screenshot, or later on you can go to my Telegram channel. I'll tell you how you can do all these things, how you can download all these things. So in here you have anti-British uprising in Assam, that's 1 point, and you have revolt of 1857 in India and its impact on Assam, and you would read a little about the peasant revolt in Assam as well, which is counter-related to that. So for these 3 topics, you would have 7 marks. After that, you have Indian freedom movement and national awakening in India. You have growth of Assamese nationalism. That's particularly, you have to keep your eye in Assam. Then you have Asamiya Bhasa Unnati Sadani Sabha. You have Jonaki Age Assam Association. You have Assam Provincial Congress Committee, Swadeshi movement in Assam, the non-cooperation movement, Civil Disobedience movement in Assam, and Quit India movement in Assam. You see, this chapter is connected to the second chapter, Rise of Gandhi. So you better understand the concept in second chapter, then you come to this chapter. And soon I'll put up videos on this chapter, so stay on my channel. I would tell you that. In chapter 5, you can see only these topics are there, by the way. The topics which have been mentioned here, only these topics you have to study. Other topics have been taken down. So in chapter 5, you have cultural heritage of India. In it, you have these points only. Northeast, you have to read Assam, its literature, religion, art and painting, sculptures, architecture, folk culture, that's it. And the other topics that you have, you just have to forget about it, and you need to tell your teacher, and again, you just have to cover that. In the geography section, you can see chapter 1, economic geography you have, and in it you have these topics. First one is definition, scope, and subject matter of economic geography. I think I've covered that. Scope of economic geography and its branches, meaning and importance of resources, classification and use of resources, and conservation. I've covered that, and for that you have 7 marks out here. Alright, let's go to the next portion and let's find out what's out here. In chapter 2, you have environment and environmental problems, which I have recently started, so I'd ask you to subscribe to my channel for that. I've covered the introduction part and the meaning of environment, so you can check that video out. And then you have environmental problem and major environmental problems. That's it. After that, you don't have to do anything about this chapter, so that all the other portions and the subtopics or subunits have been taken down. From the geography of the world, you have brief introduction of the earth, that's one topic. Distribution of continents and oceans, that's another topic. And distribution and characteristics of the oceans, that's it. You don't have to do anything else in these chapters. Other topics have been taken down. Now in chapter 4, you have geography of Assam. Only 3 topics you have. First thing first, you need to read about population and settlement, then resources of Assam, and then economy of Assam. These are the 3 topics you need to cover in here, and nothing you have to worry about. You see, this is connected with class 9s, whatever you studied out there, the concept of population and how the settlement, it's creating a lot of disturbance. For the marks distribution, as you can see here, it's 14, and on top it was 8, and then for the environment problems, it was 6. Let's go to the third section, that's Pol Science and Economics, Political Science and Economics. Part 1, Pol Science, you have Indian democracy. In it, you have to read the introduction. I guess I've covered that. 2, ideals of the constitution, the federal characteristics of the Indian political system, parliamentary democracy in India. All these things you need to cover. Then you have international organization, which is INO. In it, you have 3 topics, that is objectives of the United Nations and its organ, the UNO, and the world peace, other important international organizations. And in economics, okay, which you have the first chapter, money and banking, I've covered that, you can go and check out. my videos on that. So we have barter system. They've just eradicated the first two topics: introduction, disadvantages of barter system. That's what is there. And after that you have evolution of money, a brief account, what is money, characteristics of money, functions of money, types of money, role of money, drawbacks of money, which is also known as evils. So many times students ask me. Then you have concept of bank. It's a spelling error because they had to do it in a hurry. Origin of banking, classification of banks, non-banking financial institutions, all these things you need to cover, and I have covered most of these topics. You can go back and watch my videos right away, or whenever you like. You can just keep it saved, and later on whenever you study you can come back and see and ask me any question. My every detail is out there. Last chapter is economic development. In here you have economic growth, economic development, human development, economic planning, Niti Aayog, democratic planning in India, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Other than that, the other topics that you had all have been eliminated, so you don't have to worry about that at all. And then you have internal assessment and the other things which have been written in the textbook, recommended textbooks. You can see both are there in Bengali and English. So if you do have any problem, you can comment down below and I will try my best to solve the problems for you. Now I'll discuss class 9 and 10, both English and your social science. For the students of class 10, for English section, you need to check out the class 9 syllabus for English, because you have to cover all the grammar section that they have, which will be now applicable to you. Now 30% of your syllabus has been cut off, which means your question paper is going to be tougher. You need to study a lot. You need to do like from within the text. You need to cover a lot of number of the questions will increase right now. Okay, so let's go to class 9 English and let's see what's out there. Alright, so what do we see here? English of class 9. Let's look at that. Revised course content for 2021. This will not be applicable for 2022. Okay, what are the lessons they have kept? First thing first, you have comprehension in here. So one would be seen and one would be unseen, just like class 10. And then you have writing and underwriting. You have either translation or amplification. So you have to either go with translation or with the amplification. Then you have article or story writing. Either you have to write an article or you have to do a story. And the third thing you have is either a notice writing or a report writing. That's it. In the grammar section, which is very important if you are a student of class 10 and you're watching this, because all these grammar will be there in your course content as well. In the grammar section, you have tenses, you have use of passive voice. This time you just have, in class, if you're in class 9, you just have to do the passive section. You don't have to turn it from passive to active, just the passive, from active to passive. Then you have word order, which is also for the CBSE students, it's sentence reordering. Then you have narration, you have direct, indirect speech, preposition, degrees of comparison, which you need to know. Like it comes under transformation of sentences, like changing sentences without changing the meaning of the sentences. Then you have question patterns. The other grammatical things that we had earlier all have been eliminated. In the prose section, let's now look at that. The marks is right there. You can check out, take screenshots later on, or you can visit my Telegram channel and do the same. For the prose section, you have Fun They Had, The Sound of Music, My Childhood, Visit to Kaziranga, that's it. All these 4 chapters you have, The Bond of Love, and the other chapters that you had, all these chapters had been taken down. For these 4 chapters, you have 11 marks here, 11 and 10 respectively. And for the poetry section, you have just 3 poems. Number 1 is Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Then you have Lake Isle of Innisfree, which is by William Wordsworth. Legend of the Northland, I've forgotten. I think some 𝒂𝒄, 𝒂𝒂𝒄 perhaps. And for the supplementary section, you have 2 chapters. Earlier there were 4 chapters. Now you have 2 chapters: Adventures of Toto and Happy Prince. Most of this content you will already get on my channel. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and watch all the videos as per your requirement. So that's there. But one thing you need to keep in mind, that since the syllabus has been cut down to 70%, now the question, you need to learn more questions. You need to know all the aspects of the chapters, and critical questioning will be there. You need to be very prepared. Let's look at social science of class 9. So here is the revised course content for class 9 social science. As you can see, it's the total marks you have is 90, and to pass you need to get 30, and in the written examination you have to get 27 to pass. All right, let's look at the chapters that we have. In history and geography, respectively, they have cut down 1 chapter. So from the history section, you have advent of European into India. The marking is on the right hand side, as you can see. Growth of Indian nationalism, you have Maurya rebellion, Burmese invasion of Assam, you have all these things. Then you have changes of Earth's surface, you have geography of India, geography of Assam, 1 chapter. they have taken down most of the videos on this chapter, especially growth of Indian nationalism. You will get on my channel. You can go to my playlist, or you can just scroll through or search. You will get all the videos out there. For pol science, they have kept 2 chapters: political parties in India, types of government, the basic concepts of economics, and basic concepts of basic economic problems. Now these are very small chapters, so they didn't do anything in here, but 2 chapters have been taken down respectively from both history and geography. And down there you can see for the internal assessment you have 10 marks, and other things you can see really regarding your textbook and everything else. Now since your course has been taken down to 70%, you need to pay extra attention, and otherwise, you know, you may have serious problems. You may face serious problems, so you need to cover the chapters intently from within, and you need to cover many more and more questions right now, question answers right now. For that, you can subscribe to my channel, and I'll help you with that. And you can subscribe to my Telegram channel for that, for the notes and other things that you need relating Shiva and all that. Okay. Now, for the new revised syllabus, other subjects, you can visit my Telegram channel, Telegram channel, and download the images of them. You know, and link of my Telegram channel will be on the description box and will be flashing on the screen as well. With that, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you are a student of classes from 9 to 12, because I put up a lot of videos and content for all of you. And I'll see you with a new video. Bye bye.